Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm recording a little bit later today. Let me see here. Still had continuation of a lot going on yesterday, even after I recorded the video. First, I wanted to mention that what I was in fear of happening with my sugar dropping and not feeling it did happen. Yeah, it definitely happened yesterday morning. Actually, before I even recorded the video, I just forgot to mention it. Let's face it, I was a bit tired. Excuse me, at that point. So yeah, I don't know. What happened was I was feeling really tired, and I was like, maybe I should. Before I was actually just before I went to Walgreens the first time, and I was like, maybe I should do a sugar check just to be on the safe side before I truck on down there, because tiredness is a telltale sign that my sugar is dropping. So I'm like, okay. So I used my last test strip that I had. Yeah. And did a sugar check, and sure enough, I was low. 64. Yeah, that's not a good situation to be in if you're going to be, excuse me, walking someplace. So I'm like, well, let me go ahead and eat some Nutty Buddy bars, get my sugar up really good before I chuck on down there. Then, of course, you know what happened after that. Oh, brother. So, yeah, and like I said, I didn't feel it. The only sign that I had was that tiredness. I had no shaking, no sweats, no heart pounding, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that happens to me quite a lot, actually. I never really quite understood it when I would meet people who would be in those situations, and I was still hypoglycemic. My mom was still alive, and she, I'd experienced what she would go through, and her sugars wouldn't be that terribly low or whatever, but she would, go through all of that. But myself, I definitely would once I would get to around, like certain levels or what have you. Never have I ever been really, really low. And I think the lowest that I ever clocked in was like 70 or something like that as a hypoglycemic. But I met diabetics who had gone through it where they will be in lows and don't feel it. And that's the reason why they would have a service animal to let them know, hey, look, you're having an issue right now. You need to take a blood sugar. This is, of course, before CGMs. And that's one of the reasons why this little one here is good. She's not the reason why I have her. I've had her long before I became a diabetic. But after becoming a diabetic, after she has learned signs or whatever, and I didn't teach her or anything, this is something that she did all on her own, she hangs on me, and she will irritate me to let me know, hey, something's up. You need to take care of this, Mom. So I know some people say, oh, they smell it. It isn't that. They just know. I don't believe it's a sense of smell or whatever. But they just know. Somehow. Intuition. That's what I say. They can just sense it. So, and of course she's always been very attached to me. She's my baby. And she knows it. And she doesn't want to lose her mommy. So she has that intuitive sense that, hey, Mom, you're not feeling good. You need to take care of this. And she has been hanging on me quite a bit. It's funny. When I had told her, okay, that, yeah, I'm having, excuse me, that mommy's blood checking system, it wasn't working. So I need you to help keep an eye on mommy a little bit more. Chum. It's like, okay, we can back off a little bit here. I was trying to curl up and go back to sleep, at least for a little bit before I needed to call work and everything. And she was just like, chum, right there. And it's not because it was warm or anything. It was just because she was wasn't even laying on any blankies. She was just like right there watching me. And of course, now I can't go back to sleep because I had somebody watching me. So, but yeah, that did happen yesterday. So I did, actually, while the video was uploading to YouTube, I was so tired. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to curl up here. Ooh, excuse me. Go back to sleep. I couldn't remember how long. I know I told Angie one time, Rick another time now, and then later I was like, no, I don't think it was either. I slept for about 2.5 hours, so yeah, because it was 9:30, so 11:30, so yeah, I woke up just before noon, so yeah, it was like 11:58, something like that is when I woke up. So yeah, I slept for about 2.5 hours, not too shabby. So yeah, here, there you go. Her nail was caught on the saddle blanket that I keep on top of my legs. Helps provide a little bit more warmth on my legs, especially my knees and bad knees. Bad knees. No, I get sore knees. I know I injured them when I was younger. The one I remember how I did it. The other way I don't remember. My left knee I dislocated when I was younger, and I have a tendency to do that still. Not fun. But I like to keep a little bit of an extra blankie on my legs, help keep them warm when I'm sleeping in bed. Just helps with with all that. So, anywho, and then the heating blanket on top of it. Oh, it's so nice. And I got it on right now, so I know that's one of the reasons why she's curling up here. She's like, oh, nice warm heating blanket. Oh, warm, mommy. So anyway, when I woke up, I got her some breakfast and ate and was watching another episode of 1923. And I got email from work letting me know that the situation with my health care benefits not showing up was corrected. So I'm like, all right, let's do this. So I took care of what I needed to do and so forth, and jumped onto my tablet and started taking a look at the different plans that are available. There's 3 different ones. Of course, each one is a different price amount, out-of-pocket maximums, deductibles, all this sort of stuff. I'm like, well, before I make a decision, I'm going to ask some questions. So I got on the phone with the benefits center, basically HR, and with the questions that I had, she was trying to do her best or whatever. I'm like, would it be possible if you just had a phone number for me to be able to call them, so I can get it all straight from the horse's mouth? She's like, sure. She was really fumbling. I'm like, yeah, this is not kosher. So, she gave me the number, and then she just switched me right over. And I wound up being on the phone for about 3 hours. I know, you were probably like, what sort of questions did she have? Mostly, yeah, I needed to get questions answered with regards to the plans themselves, because some terminology I wasn't too familiar with. as unfortunately a lot of that stuff has changed quite a bit over the years since the last time I had company health insurance. I've either been paying on my own or had Medicaid or what have you. So there was quite a few questions that I had. But mostly my big questions were dealing with my prescriptions, of course. Wondering, okay, do they cover CGMs? Do they cover syringes? Because unfortunately, in the past, and still run into it today, insurance companies are not covering syringes. They expect you to drink the insulin. That basically is what it boils down to. Oh, we'll pay for the insulin, but you have to pay for the syringes, which isn't that big of a deal or whatever, but no. So anyway, I wanted to find out all about that. Also make sure that they cover my insulins and so on and so forth. So, anywho, I found out, long story short, I found out that they do cover everything. Unfortunately, she wasn't finding my one insulin, my short-acting insulin in the system, which I find a little strange because at the same point she wasn't finding the syringes. That was the first person. Okay, let me back up. There's two different systems I actually have to go through. There's the insurance, and then there's a separate prescription coverage through a different company, actually. But they kind of work together or whatever. But this is just how my employer is working things out. Don't ask. And it is a major corporation, by the way. For those of you who don't know, that are just joining. Welcome, by the way. But I don't want to mention the name because of legalities and all that sort of stuff. But those of you who have been following, you know who exactly I'm talking about. So anyway, how it winds up working out, it's kind of weird. As far as my medications are concerned, those of you who don't know, I am a type 1 diabetic, okay? And but being type 1 means, of course, the pancreas is gone, and I have to take insulins. I prefer the vials over the EpiPens. They have a tendency to break. You can wind up going through quite a few of them and so forth. And to tell you the truth, they're quite expensive. And whereas vials and syringes are a hell of a lot cheaper, especially if you wind up having to pay out of pocket, which I had to do for a while because I didn't. My Medicaid benefits were terminated because of how much money I was making, and also, unfortunately, I couldn't afford the health insurance premium that was quoted to me. So now that I have this job and company is paying for at least part of it or what have you, then I just needed to get some information from all of that. So that's where I'm at for those of you who are just joining. So anyway, like I said, it's kind of weird how they have things set up. The medications themselves, basically my insulins and syringes, have to go through the prescription provider. My CGMs, the company has deemed, and it's the company themselves, that's the way it was explained to me, the company themselves have deemed the CGMs a medical necessity, but they've deemed it as a medical supply. So because of it, I have to go through the health insurance, not the prescription insurance. Even though it's by prescription only, it's considered to be medical equipment, basically is what it boils down to. Weird, I know, but it's like, okay. So I found out that they are covered, and I'll be responsible for 20% of the cost. So I got to shop around a little bit, but I have to go through one of their providers still, one of their suppliers. Like, okay, so I got to shop around a little bit, and I got a list to find out, or the ones that are either close by or mail order to see about getting those taken care of so I could get some price quotes and so forth. See who's going to offer them for cheapest. Also, I had found out when I was on the phone with Abbott, they're the manufacturers of my sensors. I'm on the Freestyle Libre 2 system. I found out from the customer service representative I was speaking to about getting my malfunctioning sensor replaced, that they are going to be discontinuing the Libre 2 by the end of September. So I'm going to have to definitely, get in with the endocrinologist and see about getting things taken care of. And they do pay for the Libre system. So don't have to switch over to Dexcom. Yay. Happy about that. So yeah, that's awesome. As far as my syringes are concerned, those will be covered. I'll be able to get a 90-day supply, and it's the syringes that I like, not the ones that I have to get or anything. And that was a thing, too, that I wanted to make sure that I got clarification on, because with those EpiPens, pen sticks, it's like with what I ran into with Medicaid before, they paid for the pen, and see, that's the thing. Okay, let me back up here a minute. The pen is one thing. The pen basically contains the medication, whatever that is, all right? But as far as the needle is concerned, that's sold separately. It's like a box of 100 or something like that. I don't remember how many. And they're like $100 a piece. Or, $100 a box, excuse me. That's what was quoted to me before. And so, of course, if you wind up in a situation like with myself, like I was saying, that's expensive because those pens are not cheap as it is. And then on top of it, you also have to, pretty much the pens are about the same price as what the vials are. They can run you around $200 a piece or whatever. But you actually get more in a vial than what you actually get in the pens, just to let you know. Then on top of it, you also have to pay for the box of the needles themselves. And we're only talking a thing that's like this, and you put it onto the pen, okay? Now, you think about that. That's expensive. And of course, now you're asking, well, how much is it for a box of syringes? Guess what? You can go to Walmart, pick up a box of their brand of syringes, the Rely On, okay, and they're perfectly good. I've used them myself. They're only $15. All you have to do is sign for them. That's it. You don't have to have a prescription or anything. All you do is you go in there, show them your ID, and you sign for them, pay for them, you're out the door, okay? Not that I'm trying to give drug addicts any ideas or whatever, but just to let fellow diabetics know, or people who know diabetics, that's your cost. I'm just letting you know what your cost difference is. So you have to ask yourself, I realize you might be getting it paid for through insurance, whether it's Medicaid or what have you, but if you wind up having to be in a situation where you lose your insurance for whatever reason, and you can't afford Cobra, because let's face it, Cobra is not cheap, yeah, you're stuck with a hefty bill every single freaking month. That you're going to have to pay out of pocket for those things. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? So, switch over to vials and syringes, just in case. Because even with the vials, even if you wind up having to pay out of pocket for those, you can go back to the drug manufacturer and get a voucher. Okay, you will qualify for a voucher because you don't have insurance, and you'll only be paying about in the ballpark of about $35 per vial. Okay, give or take $5, depending on what your. It's all part of. It was a federal initiative to make sure diabetics will have the medications that they need. All right, so just to let you know. All right, and then just go to Walmart, and you can pick yourself up a box of syringes for $15. That's it. That's all you need. Okay. So anyway, fortunately though, with this insurance that I'm going to be on, I'll be able to get a 90-day supply for $9. That's dirt cheap. So yeah, I like that. And that's how it runs with them, is 90-day supplies. The Atlantis is covered. I'm going to double check with the Admalog. It should be on their list. And she did. The girl I spoke with, because initially the initial person I spoke with, she was just like, no, syringes aren't covered, and that was the thing, that the whole reason why I brought the EpiPens. I wanted to make sure, because the first person I spoke with was saying that no, they don't cover them. It's probably thought of as a medical supply, so your insurance would cover that, your medical insurance. So I went back to them, started asking all those questions with CGM and the syringes. She's like, no, we don't cover syringes. That's a prescription. They should be covering that. I'm like, well, I was told not. So we got back on the phone, or she did, and she was getting the questions answered. But then while she was on the phone, had me on hold, I was like, I need to make sure that they're not getting things confused as far as between the syringes and those EpiPen needles. So when she came back, she was just like, well, let's get them back on the phone to make sure. So I spoke with them, and she was just like, yeah, I don't know who told you that, but no, we do cover syringes. And she was just like, okay, which ones do you use? So I gave her all the information, and she just did a test run to see what my cost is going to be, and they do cover it. So yay. So I'm going to give them a call back and have them research, because the first person I was talking to was saying, I don't see it in the system, so you might have to get a pre-auth for that. I'm not too worried about it because I got 6 bottles left still, so yeah, I've got plenty. That's all from the Medicaid, and it's still good. Yeah, that's no big deal. But yeah, I just want to double check to make sure that, and of course I'm checking the expiration dates too before I use all of it. They're perfectly good until I believe next year, so we're good there. I'm not too worried about any of that. But at some point, I'm definitely going to have to see about getting that taken care of. And either way, I think I've only got maybe a couple of refills left on the Lantus, and I think maybe 3 or 4 of the sensors. I'm not entirely too sure. So yeah, I need to find all that out. But anyway, and that was the thing too, because I need to do some cost comparisons with the CGMs, because if I am getting them cheaper through Abbott, through their voucher system, I might circumvent and go that direction still yet. Yeah, I had to tell a little fib saying that, oh no, at least, end of the year, when, oh, that's right, because end of September they're going to be discontinued, so I don't know. I'll find out. I'll probably still stick with their system or what have you, as far as that is concerned, until they're discontinued, and then I think they're going to be calling it the 2 Plus or something like that. I think the reason why I can't switch over to the 3 is don't quote me on this, but I don't think they have a reader for it, and it's done strictly through the app on your phone, and I don't buy phones with that scanning technology. It's basically what you use for your Google or Apple Pays. So yeah, that's what it boils down to. So anyway, so yeah, that's why I was on the phone for 3 hours. Back and forth and everything. Sounds a little familiar from yesterday morning. That was my day yesterday. A lot of back and forth. So yeah, and that was basically, I think I got on the phone with I want to say around 3:30, 4 o'clock, something like that. So yeah, I didn't get done. It was around 7 or something like that I got done with everything. So yeah, it was quite a while that I was on the phone. So, but yeah, that was my day yesterday. But I did get to watch a couple of episodes of 1923. Paramount has been advertising quite a bit a new show that they have out called Mobland. It's with Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren. Again, I love her. I just love her. I don't know if it's true or not. There was something going around on social media there for a little bit where apparently somebody was quoting her, where she was asked a question, with being older in life now or whatever, if she could give advice to her younger self, what would it be? And she had responded, "Tell people to fuck off." And I'm like, I love that. That is just so me. I love her. She has that disposition. So I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if she actually did say that, if that actually had happened. So, yeah, I just love her to pieces. She's my kind of woman. So, not that I'm a lesbian. Please don't think that. No. It's not that being a lesbian is a bad thing or anything. Anyway, yeah. In other words, I go for guys. Okay, so it's not that. It's just, yeah. She's my kind of person. Let's put it that way. Okay, I just need to make sure I'm choosing my words here correctly or whatever. So, but no, she's cool. I love her to pieces. So, in other words, somebody I wouldn't mind meeting. I could see us hitting it off and being good friends, in other words. So, I think that's going to be my next watch, most definitely. So, see how that goes. So, anywho, yeah, I slept very well last night. Felt so good, getting caught up on a lot of sleep. And woke up this morning feeling quite refreshed and everything. And we do have another storm system coming in, and it's supposed to be hitting us this afternoon. Pretty much all of the snow that we got the other day is pretty much all gone. I know some of the snow that has gotten compacted, from plowing and so forth, is still in the process of trying to melt, because of course it ices over. But you're still seeing it out there in parking lots. But all the snow that we got the other day, for the most part, there's a little bit patches here and there. All pretty much melted yesterday. But yeah, we have another storm system coming in this afternoon. Supposed to go all the way overnight into tomorrow morning, and I think pretty much almost all day tomorrow. So definitely going to be wearing the turtleneck tomorrow. This one here, who's curled up sound asleep, right here next to me, she definitely had gotten a little bit of an eye infection last night from allergies. One of the things I did notice with my tromping back and forth between here and Walgreens is that grasses are coming in. I've seen little grass blades popping up through the snow, or where the snow had covered them over, basically, as they were starting to come up when the storm hit. So I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if maybe that's what's hitting her, is all those grasses. Surprisingly with myself, I'm doing great. I know. And being able to be on the phone talking to somebody for 3 hours, that would have been unheard of for me before. I was lucky I was able to make it 10 minutes without having difficulties breathing, my chest wanting to seize up, constricting, contracting, and just such difficulties. This is a total turnaround. I'm getting back to normal, basically, is what it boils down to. I don't know. Maybe the muscle issues will clear up on their own. I don't know. Oh, that was the other thing that while I was on the phone with the medical insurance, I had them look up the Mayo Clinic, and they are in network. Yay! So, if I wind up needing to go to them still, I'm giving it some time, because they are about a 2-hour drive from here. But if I need to see about going to them, yay! And I have my application with them is good until August 4th. So, and I've got all the information still and everything too. So that's awesome. I knew there was something else I was forgetting to mention. But anyway, yeah, I with her, she had some goop basically in the corner of her eye. I'm just like, and she was squinting that one eye as her left eye. And I'm like, all right. So I grabbed a wash rag and wetted it with some warm water and got in there and just, started digging it out. Of course, she was fighting me and everything, as though I was killing her or something. I know. But no, I went in there, got all of it out, the one eye, and of course I was using different parts of the rag, so I'm not cross-contaminating and so forth, and got out anything out that might possibly be in the other eye as well. She was definitely looking a lot better, feeling a lot better, playing and so forth. She's been playing quite a bit this morning, so she feels a lot better. So maybe that might be all I might need to do. I don't know. I'm trying to, it's like when I seen that happen, I'm like, I might need to go and get her Benadryl, some children's Benadryl, the liquid. But I'm like, with her pancreatitis, I'd much rather hold off as much as possible. So, oh, that was the other thing I did too. Signed her up for insurance as well. So she's going to cost me about $37 and some change per pay period, but she's worth more than that to me. So, of course, pre-existing isn't covered unless she was covered under a previous medical insurance plan, but there's ways around that too. So we will just keep that under wraps, won't we? I don't care. But of course, it's one of those, it's the typical situation where you have to pay for it all up front and then you get reimbursed. And I signed up for $500 deductible, but get 90% back. That was the top tier that you could get back. I know I could have paid a little bit more and done $250. A $250 deductible, but I feel that I could handle probably $500. We'll see what happens. Push comes to shove, I'll go back driving. I don't care. I think I'll be all right though. So, but anyway, yeah, that's kind of everything. And as far as the health insurance is concerned, I definitely signed up for the top tier. I waited. As far, the bottom tier wasn't even an option as far as I'm concerned in my books. That was like ridiculous. I mean, that would be okay if you're a kid and you're perfectly healthy, this and that and every other thing. But I've got medical issues now, so I need to be able to make sure, because it was like nothing is covered. I think it was like a $7,000 out of pocket deductible and everything, and it was just like, whoa! But you're only paying $47 a month, or pay period. Yeah, there's a reason for that. But the next tier was $99 a pay period. Wasn't too bad or whatever, but the max and the deductible, yeah, and then of course how much you're paying for the specialist, and of course I have to go see a specialist every few months with the endocrinologist, and then of course the prescriptions, and and of course I'm looking at the costs, with the CGM and so forth. I'm like, all right, let me just go ahead and sign up for the other. And of course this is per pay period, not a month that I'm paying. So I'm paying $173 per pay period. So it's either that or, basically if I went on the outside and paid for my own insurance, I'd be pretty much paying actually more. Yeah, I'd be paying for more. And I wouldn't be getting as much benefits. So, yeah, by the time everything is said and done, it's like, yeah, I'm better off going this route after weighing everything. So, I know it's expensive, but hey, it is what it is. So, and of course I don't have my car insurance, my driver's license switched over yet either. No hurry. No hurry. At least I have insurance now. So, and I can, if I want to, I can even, transfer to a store back to the state of Nevada, and I'm already covered. So I can go anywhere. I don't necessarily have to stay here. If I want to, I could go back to Nevada, or if I want to, I can move down North Carolina, Alabama, whatever, I don't have to worry about, as long as it's in network, that's what matters. So, yeah, awesome. I'm good to go for the most part. I just have to finish the signing up. There was something else I was going to sign up for also, but something happened with the system, so I got to get back up on there and take care of that. Oh yeah, I was signing up for dental insurance also, and so yeah, about per pay period, I'm looking at about $300 out of my paycheck. That's not too bad. I don't think so. Anyway, with everything that I'm signing up for, anyway. So to me, it's worth it. So, it's about $600 a month, and nice thing about it, I can claim it all on my taxes at the end of the year. Yay! It's out of pocket. I can claim it. Yep. So that helps to drive down that tax bracket. That's what matters most. So I'm collecting instead of paying. That's the name of the game, folks. So, anywho, I am going to let you go, because I'm sure this one here is hungry, even though she's got some food left over from yesterday. And I know Mommy's getting hungry too. And I should get my sensor today. And I definitely got everything taken care of as far as getting my paperwork sent out. And that's in transit right now. So I should be getting that by Thursday. So I can get my taxes done. Woohoo. Ugh, I hate doing my taxes. For most, all y'all who are working regular jobs, it's not so bad. But those of us who are self-employed or were self-employed, yeah, lots of fun. And I don't do my taxes every single year, but you have until you have 3 years before you're basically struck out and you're stuck with having to go straight form. So I'm like in arrears 3 years behind, so I got to get that year done, and whatever So that's what I'm waiting on with my paperwork. And unfortunately, I had 3 businesses that year. The 2 were failed, which is fine. I don't mind it because it helps drive down that tax bracket again. It helps wipe things out. That's basically the point of it, you know. So I'm not paying in. And, but yeah, it's just a matter of getting through all that paperwork and getting the paperwork so I can get all that taken care of. I know. Yuck. So, anywho. Alright. I'm going to let you go. Tomorrow is an early day for me, so I won't be doing a video until late tomorrow, because I have to be to work at 7 tomorrow, so it'll be a late video tomorrow, just to let you know. And then the next 3 days I have to be to work at 9:30, so I may or may not do a video beforehand, but I won't be getting home until 6:30, so you'll all just have to wait. I know. The anticipation. I know. It can kill you. You'll be fine. I know I am. I'm over my time. I'll talk to y'all later. Love you guys. Mwah. Love you.